Hi friends, my name is Jim Piela. I'm a New York City-based saxophonist, composer, and educator, and I've got a brand new set of etudes for you based on motivic development. Each etude takes a single motif and develops it in a myriad of ways over the chord changes of a standard jazz tune. If you're watching this as it comes out, you can go on YouTube right now and check out the very first etude. It has PDF downloads for all transpositions, along with backing tracks and a practice sheet for developing and sequencing the motif that we're using. So whenever I make material like this, I always try to be as clear as possible about my goals. In writing these, I wanted to challenge myself to see how long I could stick with a single idea. I've noticed that in my own playing, I have a tendency to abandon ideas kind of quickly sometimes. What would happen if I kind of flipped that on its head and stuck with something for as long as I possibly could? A lot of these etudes are 64 measures long and only developing that single motif. This also kind of forced me to think a lot about the different kind of tools that I'm using for melodic development. And my hope is that by looking at the ways that I'm developing these different motifs, you're going to be challenged and thinking about the ways that you might develop your own motifs. Another big goal for these is chord scales. The chord scales of these standard jazz tunes, I want to get them a little clearer in my mind and be able to develop using them. I know in my own playing, I use a lot of chromatic connections, which is cool. But adding the chord scales, adding that tool to the toolbox was definitely a goal for me as I was writing these. Is this the only way to play over chord changes? No. But it's cool and it sounds great, so why not work on it and have that in the toolbox? The last concept is the idea of oversaturation. So taking these motifs and playing them over and over and over again in a bunch of different ways, the idea being that similar to a vocabulary word, right? I want to use that idea, that motif, that concept when it's necessary for what I want to say, not just plugging and playing it into measure 5 of the blues. I know this lick works. No, these motifs ideally are going to be so integrated in the way I think and the way that I play that I can put them wherever I want and develop them in a bunch of different ways on the fly, improvisationally. I have a couple clarifications for you before you go off and play these on your own. First and foremost, I'm using one chord scale per measure. All right, this is a fairly common way of playing over changes where you're going to take especially 1 bar 2 5/1s and you're going to squish all that information together into just using the 5 chord. This results in some more scalar playing compared to arpeggio or chordal playing. And it was kind of one of the goals that I had in mind as I was writing these. So the other thing you'll see as you open up these etudes for the first time is that I've written in no information concerning phrasing, concerning dynamics, concerning articulation. None of that information is in there. And that's kind of in the grand tradition of a book like the Omnibook, right? That doesn't give you any of that information on the page, just the notes and the rhythms. It's kind of on purpose, right? It's the idea that we're going to go and listen to the original player play and try to glean that information from them instead of relying on the page. Okay, so if you're having questions about phrasing or articulation, go listen to my version of it. If you're really not sure what to do, articulate the first note of any given phrase and then slur every other note. Jazz is a legato language, and this will get you maybe 90% of the way there. But again, use your ear, listen to the original version, and see what you come up with. So I hope you enjoy these etudes. You can go check out the first one right now, or if you're watching in the future, you can check out a bunch of them. If you would do me a favor and do all the like, subscribe, engagement stuff, there's a reason why everyone's asking you to do that, and it's in part because it helps small creators like me get found in the algorithm and get this information spread out and more people discover it. So if you want other people to find this stuff too, do the like, subscribe, and leave your least favorite emoji in the comments below. So I appreciate it. Hope you're having a good one, and I'll see you in the etudes. It's a terrible way to sign off.